Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this thing called life. Yeah, we're set up a little bit differently. We've got some things that, some expansions that we've got going on. So we are working on trying to see what our best methods of getting stuff done is actually going to be.
Absolutely.
But we want to start by saying welcome. We welcome each and every one of you. So if you would, as you come on, please let us know you are here by saying hi. That way we can acknowledge your presence, because we definitely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell you what we'll do is we will start today's topic by you kind of introducing the topic and how it came to be.
So today we're going, the topic of this show is boys don't cry. Being vulnerable with those in your life. So being vulnerable with others. It came about as a conversation I was having with my mister. And it started with a video. And it was just a matter of, because I am one of those people that I hate it when you shake it off or take it like a man, or, boys don't cry. I am one of those people, I feel like, one, we should all be able to express ourselves. We should all be able to feel what we feel genuinely. I'm a huge proponent of men's mental health. I think that is something that is never touched upon. It is not just reinforcing it. It is just not something that is actually very prevalent or put out there as something that needs to be tackled, as something that needs to be talked about, as a conversation that needs to be had. I also tend, because I don't want to say that it is just men who do it, because I myself tend to be one of those, I don't generally share my vulnerabilities. I don't generally open up. I don't generally allow people to see, like a lot of the people who know me will say, oh, she's angry, or she's cold, or, she's just outright mean. Okay, I am mean, but that don't have nothing to do with nothing. But as far as being angry and cold and even distant, for me, part of that is the fact that I am an empath and I feel things extremely deeply. And so a lot of times I will block out, I will put the walls up, I will keep everyone out, because that is basically how I have to function. I can't deal with my own stuff, if I'm, absorbing everyone else's. It basically is the bottom line. But boys don't cry is probably one of the most hurtful mentalities, and one of the most hurtful, damaging statements we can ever make to our sons, our nephews, the young boys in our life who grow up to be men, that we're there and going, why is he so closed off, and why is he so cold, and why is he so distant, and why can't he just tell me how he feels or what's on his mind? And because of that vulnerability, because they've been taught, we've been taught, because I was told at a very early age, stop that crying, don't nobody want to see your tears, we ain't got time for that. But that was the same mentality that my brother was raised with, we ain't got time for that. So, I learned to shut all that down at an early age. But then again, that's just par for the course with a lot of our males right now. Just not even right now, just through the ages.
Period. You said that so much nicer than I was going to. That's why I had you kind of started, because I was like telling, like even with our posts, to advertise the show, we were talking about the fact that, we expect men, we see 1,000 posts about why men are not more expressive, why they don't share how they feel, and why, just the whole gamut, about, you know, um, and so how can we truthfully expect men to express themselves when they've never been taught as boys how to express themselves in a healthy manner? Because so many of them act out because they've been forced to suppress and suppress and suppress and suppress. So then when something in life happens and they have a friggin' explosion, then, oh my God, there's like, it's the end of the effing world. When the reality is, he's just like we as women, because, women being expressive is celebrated. It's okay, sister, to cry. It's okay to not be okay. All of this different stuff. But then when it comes down to our men, yes, we want them to be strong. Yes, we want them to reign as the royals that they are. But the reality is, even though they are strong, they are still human.
But they're taught from a very early age that, especially, being kings and coming up and, and having to be, the leader and the strong one, excuse me, that expressing your emotions is a form of weakness.
And that's why I said I'm glad you said what you said, because all I was going to say was that's BS. That's BS. And it upsets me, even if you come up, even I'm saying you, but even if they come up in a home where they are allowed to be expressive, but then they're at school and they show those emotions at school, they're called a punk, they are bullied, they are talked about incessantly, to the point that it's like, okay, why don't I just curl up in a ball and just not say a word?
Yeah.
And then when they do have that explosion, then everybody's looking like,
what happened?
I would have never expected that from XYZ, or they can't handle the pressure and use a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Been there, understand. Seen too much of that.
So we've got so many, so I'm glad you brought this, because our brothers need to know that there are a lot of us out there as women that support them being expressive. There's so many of us out there that appreciate their vulnerability. But then you have these females. Thank you for redirecting my thought process and my words. There are females out there that try to, when a man is vulnerable with her, when he does open himself up to her, she uses it against him,
Absolutely.
which makes me want to put my crooked leg up her butt so it'll be stuck for life.
Yeah, I think in the conversation that he and I were having was, and even so there was a podcast that I sent you that is what that actually kind of like started the conversation. But one of the things that they even touched on was the fact that when they allow themselves to be, I'm not even going to say they, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with our partners, because we're not going to touch on others yet. We're going to talk about with our partners.
Right.
When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with our partners, we're saying to them, I am handing you this thing. I am revealing to you this thing that hurts me. Right. This spot where I am vulnerable.
That part.
And, in the heat of anger or whatever, you then turn that vulnerability around on them. Oh, that's why this, and that's, this, that, and the third. Okay, so.
Or with your weak ass, or with your.
But then, okay, the fight is over, and you want to go back to being all lovey-dovey. Well, they talk about, there are things that you cannot take back, the rock once it is thrown and the words once they have spoken. So once those words have been spoken, you can't take that.
Yeah.
So once you've done that damage, once you hit them with that wrecking ball, how do you expect things to be able to go back to where they were at a happier time?
You have bruised. Well, one thing that a lot of individuals that do that is a lot of times they don't realize that once those words are out and you hit a part of that person's soul, there's really, I don't care what you do or say after the fact, the damage is done. Just like, the example of the broken bowl or broken plate. We can get all of the pieces that we can find. And we can get the best bonding agent out there and put it back together again. Yeah, it'll hold things, but it will never be as strong as it was when it was originally molded and created. So when that relationship is broken in that manner, you may move forward in your life. You may move forward in that relationship. But there's always going to be this piece with him that says, but I can't trust her with my most intimate secrets or feelings because she's going to make me come across like I'm a punk.
She'll go back.
Right.
She'll go back.
Right. We got some comments and some greetings and I don't know, do you have your...
I see my cousin Kiana. Hey, Kiana. Elder Joanne, hello. I saw Annette, hello.
I think I saw Beatrice and I saw
Miss Nefertari. Hello, Justin.
Stephen is on here. DJ Mo Hype.
Okay.
New Beat Radio in the house.
I missed our studio.
Yes, days. I miss them too. We've got Beatrice that's here. And then we also have a couple of comments.
TJ put up a good one. So did Justin. So I love that the men are chiming in, especially with this particular topic. So I'm just, even though, we have it, I'm just going to go ahead and read it without my glasses. That'll be fun. I think this is from TJ, I think there's a misunderstanding from a man controlling himself and his bearings, as the Marines taught us, to being very vulnerable. Or am I just misunderstanding? And then Justin says, I feel like if I get hurt on the road to a human learning, then I have created something. It's worth the scar.
Now
that.
But then
we'll have to unpack that one.
Yeah, but TJ said something too, because there are a lot of our military men and women that deal with a lot of things.
Oh my God.
And because they are trained, tactically trained to address stressful situations in a different manner,
right,
than quote unquote a civilians. So a lot of times there may be misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
There honestly may be, and that is where, even when you are dealing with, like you said, it's not always just romantic partners.
Mm-hmm.
Because when my brother returned, and he's been very transparent about this, so I'm not sharing anything he hasn't shared. But when he returned from Iraq, when we were initially over there were some experiences that he had. Mm-hmm. And to this very day, when certain types of storms, now if it's just raining, okay, but when there are certain types of storms with the heavy thunder, the cracking of the lightning and the thunder, and it's like there are certain triggers that are in place. Yeah. And for those that don't know what he has experienced, his reaction may make them kind of,
the hell?
Yeah. But for those that know and understand, it's like, you good? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Do I, whatever the case may be. And so
let me wrap you in this blanket.
Right. And see, like for women, when we have those moments, it's like it's just innate that we expect our men to come to our rescue and hold us and secure us and let us know everything is going to be okay. But then we take for granted that, and I just use that as an example, but there are times that things happen in their lives, whether it's just something happening on the job.
Yeah.
And when they come to us, it's like where we should have those open arms and that says, you know what? It's okay. Let me be your safe place.
Yeah.
Let me be your safe place. Let me reassure you that everything is okay, whether it be brother, sister, uncle, daddy, grandfather, whoever that male may be in your life. Because that's why I tell the one that's upstairs now, I don't give a happy ham sandwich what's going on your job. When you get to a certain place, I don't care what I'm in, and you've seen it. I could be in the middle of something. I will stop. I will allow him to express what he needs to express. He gets it off of his chest, off of his head, and then he's like, "Okay, baby, I'll make it through the rest of the day."
Absolutely.
And our men need that, and it would be a blessing if they had that camaraderie with their other brothers.
Yeah.
But so many men are not open even to their own brothers.
The vulnerability.
So what do we do to let them know it's okay to not be okay?
I mean, the only thing that I know that we could do, I mean, we do sessions like this. We have the crew. which I was very adamant about. So the podcast that started the entire conversation, I did drop that in the crew as well.
Okay. Wonderful.
And I just, and maybe sometimes it's hearing it from other men. Because I don't know how we can. So I know the men in my life, I love on them as best I can.
Yeah.
So my father, my father, he's had a rough couple of years, but I'm like, okay, I'm here, and my mother, and and it's just like, and we sit there and we love on my father. He's one of those real stoic,
I don't say much kind of guys, yeah.
But we know
things affect him.
Yeah, we know. I mean, because been around for years, but we know. So when the anniversary of the passings comes along, when the birthdays come along, we know those are those days, and we love on them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like I said, this past 2 years actually now, things have been a little rough, and so I will drop anything and everything to go be on my daddy's side.
Oh yeah, without
question. Yeah. And if my mom is just like, your father, he's having a rough time right now, or I'm there.
Right.
I'm there. Right. Baby girl, when she comes home, we're gonna see her, for probably that first, day.
Oh yeah, she's going up there with her nana and her papa.
She's gonna be up there, and it's just gonna be like that. It just is.
Are you okay?
Yeah, like I will see her when I go and get her and bring her home, and then I'll probably see her again, when it's time to go back. But I know, because she's just like, I need to, spend time with my, my nana and my papa, and there are those situations that are a little more difficult. But at the same time, so my brother was recently going through something, and it wasn't necessarily a negative thing, but it was an emotional thing.
Right.
So even though, I'm at work on the forklift and, working on the racking and, moving materials and keeping my feet on the ground because I don't want to get in trouble for being on forklift. But so when that call came through,
everything stopped.
I stepped outside. Now he calls me all the time and be like, what? But it was something about that particular day that said to me, get off this forklift. And as soon as I got off the forklift and I looked at my phone again, he said, it's really important.
And for him to say that.
For him to say, right. So you took the time to actually write something out? Okay, yeah, I'm on it. So, I stepped outside, so we could have that discussion. So it wasn't even that it was something that was negative.
But it was an emotional moment.
It was an emotional moment.
Right. And I would love for the guys, if you would, to put in the chat some of the things that are, we could do, like even when we are rearing young men, boys, because we have an open, like with my nephews, they know and they understand. It doesn't matter who, what, when, where, how. They can come and they can say whatever they need to say. And if they're not comfortable saying it to mama or to daddy, TTD or Uncle G is always there.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. And we'll address whatever we need to address, however we need to address it.
Right.
But Ms. Nefertari said something. She said the expressing of all emotions should be normalized, regardless of gender. Just to let that, so you said, we as women, especially Black women, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We're expected to be strong.
Yeah.
We are expected to wear 9,000 hats and maintain a smile, maintain civility, maintain just everything.
Stop talking about me at work.
Look, like we used to always say, look, I get paid to be nice. I get paid to be nice. TJ says, Andre Stewart and myself were speaking and attempting to create a Christian forum for venting and transparency and solutions, which works for a lot of people, but not everyone is a Christian. So not everyone would be open to entering that particular forum. That was why the crew was actually created, because it is not only a business networking for men, but it was also a forum for men to address men's issues in the privacy of not being exposed to women.
Right.
So that, that's great for those that would join that forum, but it would not help those that are not open to that now. And for me personally, when you start talking about being able to reach people as a whole, I feel that when we incorporate, this is theology, but when we add the religious component to that, there are, I believe in Christian counseling for those who are Christians. But when you are talking about just dealing with issues of life, I think that religious component tends to ostracize those that may really need, because it's like, I'm not trying to get preached at or preached to. I just need somebody to listen. I just need a brother that's been through hell like I've been through hell to help me understand.
Regardless of your creed, regardless of your religious preferences, standings, beliefs.
But see, like I said, that's just theology and my thought process on that.
Well, and I mean, you can say, it's your thought process on that, but I'm one of those people, because the minute you start saying Christian, this and that and the third, it's not that I don't have a relationship with the Creator. It's not that I don't have my own, beliefs or whatever. But when you start with the Bible thumping, when you start with the,
and it's not that you don't accept certain things from,
Yeah, and right. But at the same time, it's just like, if you're going to browbeat me with the Bible, then this is not the conversation I need to have, because then I don't feel that I can be, and this is now we're talking about my personal experiences and my personal belief. Growing up in the church, growing up with
certain things happening.
Yeah, certain things happening. Well, certain things happening in my life, and then just certain people being, just so tightly connected to the church, but blinded to life. And then when you are actually going through things and you're going through traumatic events and you're trying to heal from them, and the only thing that anybody can say is, just pray about it.
And this grinds my ever-loving nerve, God will not put more on you than you can bear. And I cannot stand it when it's like, to whom much is given, much is look, right now, that's just like, if I'm starving and I'm about to fall the hell out, I don't give a happy hoo-ha about your Bible if it's not made from flour, milk, and eggs and baked in an oven so I can eat. Give me food, Seymour, and then we could talk about the rest of the rest of
Seymour.
Right. Then we can talk about the rest of it. But like I said, that's just me. I believe, there is a process to nurturing healing.
Yes.
And when we start talking about nurturing healing in our men,
yes,
there's going to have to be a lot of deprogramming.
Say that again.
When it comes down to nurturing healing in our men, there's going to have to be a lot of deprogramming. Because I mentioned to you, like even on my Christian Kinky Christians for platform, what I was, yesterday, it was just all over me before we even solidified the topic.
Yeah.
that I'm going to address a lot of the cliches that are out there. Happy wife, happy life. But if the wife is happy and the husband is miserable, then what kind of marriage do you have?
Who are you that you would want your man to be miserable?
Girl, if
when
you
that's the
don't come
one
up
wait,
with
wait, that's the one who's supposed to cover you, protect you. Well, let me rephrase that. You cover each other.
Right.
You protect each other. You uplift and support each other. But if one of you is happy
and the other
and
is
you
miserable,
are happy knowing that your partner is miserable, what the hell is going on with you? And what the hell kind of person are you?
And TJ just put happy house, happy spouse all day, every day.
All day. Because I'm just like, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but then again, we'll go back to our vulnerabilities. So when we get to talking about, our mates and our spouses and whatnot, we get to talking about the vulnerabilities. So in order to have that connection, in order to know my spouse is unhappy, in order to feel that, in order to have that bond, in order to be able to truly connect
and give him that sense of security that he needs,
y'all have to expose your vulnerabilities to each other.
And the sad part is, you have to, like in the case of me, because me and Gary, we've been very, very transparent.
Oh, of course.
But like even with me and him, I was giving my all, but I was giving my all in a manner that was not in the way that he could best see it and receive it. And when I learned what it took to show him how I really felt, our whole relationship changed.
Because you can tell me you love me,
but
if it's not in a way that I can receive it, I will not feel loved.
I can cook every day. I can do whatever. I can keep the house spotless. I can do all of that. But if your love language is quality time, me making sure you have a hot meal and clean drawers don't mean a hill of beans. It's like, okay, my wife is making sure I have a hot meal and clean drawers. Yeah. But if I know his love language is quality time, and I deliberately don't make time to spend with him, then I'm letting him know you and your feelings and what you need don't matter. But if he sees me put my phone down, if he sees me say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm in the middle of working on XYZ ABC, but he's home now. So I don't give a happy ham sandwich about ABC, XYZ. Everybody else gotta wait. And whenever me and him spend, I don't care if we watch a movie, a television series, I don't care if, perfect example, I hate Big Bang Theory. Hate that show. Hate it with a passion.
The worst of the damn theme song.
But he loves that old crazy show. And because he loves that old crazy show, I have sat through the entire series with him. And I watch it when he watches it. But then again, most of the time when it's on, but he already know I'm not going to just sit there and watch Sheldon because Sheldon grinds my nerves because he's such a smart butt. But, but it's like we're spending that time.
But one other thing that you said without saying, once you knew, once you all came together and you said your relationship was different. But even in getting to that point, y'all had to come to an understanding with each other. You had to come to an understanding within yourself.
That part.
You had to understand your own vulnerabilities. You had to understand your own hurts, your own your own trauma, your own drama. You had to understand your own stuff.
Right.
And work with and move through and reconcile your own stuff.
Right. Right.
Before, while enduring.
Right.
Healing what it was between the two of you.
Right. And you can't, and the one thing that, I've come to understand, which kind of rolls back over into the Kinky Christians platform, is we can't withhold intimacy because scientifically and biologically, that connection, that intimacy, it doesn't always mean sex, even though sex is good, but that intimacy with our partner brings about the cohesiveness that just talking about something or just simply doing something doesn't bring.
Yeah.
So, and it's a couple really good comments on here. Mr. Wolf says, you can't be any of those things if you are not in a healed place. And he just turned around and opened up another, totally different can of worms. Yeah. And it says, and then Ms. Nefertari says again, that unspoken code of behavior is destroying our men in the forms of depression, increased stress, substance abuse disorders, even suicide. The mindset needs to change. Men are human too.
How sad is that we have to actually put that into words, that men are human too? Why is it that they are our Superman?
Mm-hmm.
They are the lion, the head of the head of the pride. But why is it that we have to actually say and put it into words that men are human too?
Because society as a whole has actually programmed the world to nurture the emotions of women while negating the importance of a healthy emotional life for men.
Yeah.
They are expected to carry the world on their shoulders while at the same time, taking everything from everybody, and then, to come home to a place of negativity, arguing. That's why, it's like, yeah, it's frustrating and it's aggravating when, you're dealing with stressors in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why it's good for partners to have a balance and to have a clear understanding. Okay, she may work from home, or she may do a lot of the, things as it relates to the children. But he needs to understand, even though she does all this stuff, she still needs help. Yeah. She still needs help folding the clothes when they've been washed. She still needs that time where she can just go get in the tub or just go in there when he comes home and take a quick nap. It's not always just because he's been out there, battling tigers and lions, that when he walks in the door, it's like, okay, now it's like, I don't have to do anything. He doesn't understand. She's been fighting those same lions and stuff from home. So they need a balance to know, okay, especially like when you deal with newborns, she's gone through all of that. And a lot of men don't understand postpartum depression can last for years. Mm-hmm. It's not just when the baby is weaned or becomes one. Postpartum depression can last for years. So if he's in tune with her and she's in tune with him, and they are in a place that they can truly express how they feel with, like you were talking about, being vulnerable with each other. A lot of relationships would change. A lot of relationships would blossom because of effective communication.
Ooh, whole nother book.
Yeah. Mr. Wolf says misogyny doesn't just negatively impact women. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And that is the honest to goodness truth. That is the honest to goodness truth. Oh my goodness. Can you believe a whole hour is almost gone? I'm just sitting up here looking, it's like an hour is almost gone. So what do we do to change the narrative, to let our men know that it's okay to not be okay? It's okay to express how you feel. It's okay to friggin' cry when you need to cry. It's okay. If I need to be wrapped up, because G will come and he'll be like, babe, sometimes he won't say a word. I'll be in the room and he'll just come put his head in my lap. And even though he may not say a word, that lets me know that he's got something on his mind.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I will make sure that he's got a pillow or something. I've got something soft right there, because I'm not blessed like my sister. I've been working on trying to get it, but she won't share with me, y'all.
Listen.
I've been trying to get, but it's like I will make sure he has that soft place. Sometimes he decides to lay so he could just hear my heart. Sometimes he wants to, and he'll move the pillows and he'll just like, no, or he'll lay on my stomach. Or he's like, I just need to be near you. I just need to feel your, I need your strength. Without saying a word. So we have to know and learn, as my mama used to say, our men's signals. We have to learn what it is he's saying when he's not saying anything audibly. We have to learn by looking in his eyes. It's like, okay, what's up with you? What's going on with you? I'm good. I'm fine. I'm all right.
No, my favorite one, and I hear this one a lot. Oh, I'm great now. I'm looking you dead in your face.
And your eyes are saying,
bullshit. I'm like, okay. And I'm going to laugh and I'm going to smile and I'm going to hug you just that much more.
Until I can feel you finally exhale.
Yeah. Felt it all the way across town and been like, hey.
What's going on with you, bro?
You got it?
Right.
What's that?
Right.
What you doing?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
But I think that and I love, okay, he picks with you all the damn time. I love you all's love.
Oh, you're talking about that one up yonder way.
I love you all's love. And he picks with you and then you laugh about your cancers.
Oh Lord, yes.
But I love when he's just like, he gets in his moods and we just be like,
but he ain't crying.
Yeah, that's what it is, but he ain't crying. Right. But even with that, when he does, it's just like, I'm gonna need you to go. You want me to fix you a cocktail? But I'm gonna need you to go. I'm gonna need you to go handle your man. And you just you do. And you just take and you just wrap him up and you just like, come on over here and lay with me or talk to me, or I got something in my eyes.
I was about to say, do you need to?
Well, yeah, it's good. But like I love to see the two of you. I love to see your love. Y'all tickle the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm gonna tell you that some days I will sit there and I will laugh my behind off. I'll be across the hall. I will close that door and I will laugh myself silly because y'all just in there acting up and cutting the whole doggone food. And then there are times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad that you all are healing, have healed as much as you have.
Yeah, because we were in a very vulnerable place.
But that's not always a bad thing. Because think of how much you have blossomed, you have grown, and how much stronger the two of you are for having gone through that.
Now, you know what? You said a mouthful when you just said that. And what really, because I had a conversation with somebody that's near and dear to me recently, and I was letting her know, I was like, sometimes when people talk to you, we don't want to hear them because they are so close to us.
Yes.
But then when we have people who don't know us from Adam's house cat speak into our lives and basically say the same thing that the people that love us say, it's like we actually hear it. But it's not because of what was said was any different. It's just the fact that we know that they are not emotionally invested in us. So when they're telling us something, we're more prone to receive it.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
because it'd be like, okay, this stranger has said something to me, and they talk about, sometimes strangers are, your biggest proponents, as far as, those who support you most, especially when you have businesses. But you're right, because it's like, okay, this is not someone who has a bias. This is someone who, is genuinely, speaking on what they see or what they feel.
And Mr. Wolf said something very, very profound. He said, ladies, we as men will say that we are good now when we are in the presence of our people. How about you? G say that crap all the time. And I'll be like, yeah, whatever. But then here it is, this man is saying the exact same thing. So I guess there's something to that. It says we know that just being in that space will allow us to decompress. I don't like them because they all think alike. Well, but they don't want to go to the doctor. They don't look. They don't.
Oh my God! Have you gone to the doctor?
No.
Did you call the doctor?
No.
Or did you? You had to get some test results. Did you have to call? Follow up with that.
What did you eat today? What did you? How much water? How much water have you had today?
None.
Right. All of those conversations.
But you said that too. And we just kind of talked about that, that sometimes, that we end up being their calm place, their sanctuary, their, where they come to, as he said, decompress.
Yeah, find peace.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you,
But the crazy part is we can feel that on them.
But then you also said, but then we also can feel it when they finally. Because I know for me,
because that tension, it's like everything stays tight, and then all of a sudden it's like you realize either by him dozing off or just by his body language just relaxing, or the demeanor becoming more, like
relaxed.
And then so it's like, but it as a whole though. It's great that we're able to do that for our men, but what I really long for is a day that we as women become a safe place for our men as a whole, because the men that know us, as in, they know, and I tell women quick, your man is my man, not in the sense that he's my man, but as in the fact that he's my Black brother.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't always have to be Black, because white men and, men of other cultures, they have a lot, but just me being a sister with a Black daddy, Black granddaddy, Black everything, Black brothers, nephews, the whole Black husband. I take it personal when it comes down to my Black men. And I want my Black men to know that it doesn't matter who, what, when, where, how. You've got somebody that will fight for you tooth and nail. Period. Period. Now, if you down bad, we'll deal with that behind the scenes, but you will not see me not being a united front with you.
Right. And I'm one of those, I may not fully know your situation. I may not be in your house behind your closed doors, this and that and the other. But I know that if you have a vulnerable, when you talk about, the vulnerabilities, and when you talk about, one of the things that men hate as far as being vulnerable is that, when they encounter those people, because it's not always just women.
Right.
When they encounter those people that will turn around and use that against them, that will turn around and use that as a weapon against them, that will turn around and just try to drag them down with the knowledge of that vulnerability, whatever it may be.
On the job, especially.
Those are the people
that I'm ready to go kick. Right. I'll be ready to kick them dead in their chest, punch you in your chest, make your toenails pop off.
Toe to toe with, whether it is in the warehouse, whether it is at one of our functions, whether it has been in my private life, whether it has been, because I recall times where, like my sister-in-law is quite a bit bigger than me, and she power lifts, but at the same time, I was just like, nah.
Oh, but you got to get this.
And the thing about it is, it's not even, necessarily that it was just because it was my brother, because you and
it was a situation.
It was a situation because you and I, not that you use these vulnerabilities against him or whatever, but there have been times where you just be like, and I'm like, hey, stop it.
Right.
What's wrong? Do you need a drink? Did you take your meds today? What you need?
Do you need a cocktail? No.
Well, you need something because he ain't done nothing, and I'm gonna need you to knock it off.
Why are you being so mean? I'm not. Yes, you are.
Did you hear yourself snapping at me? Yeah, I'm gonna need you to. I'm here to go get some wine. You want some wine?
No.
Well, I'm gonna bring you some anyway because you need to bring it down, lady.
Welcome to our home. Like for real, that is what happens.
Like a real legit conversation in this house.
Right, that like happens for real. But but it's one of those things where, like you said, these conversations are what it takes to change the narrative. And if just one or two more people have these conversations with the people the men in their lives, the boys in their lives, if we would start making it okay for our boys to express themselves in a healthy manner. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you're upset about something. No, it's not okay for you to go out there and knock the hell out of somebody. But if there's something that's going on with you, let's go through the proper chain of command first. Let's deal with those emotions. Okay, this is what's happening. Okay, why is this happening? Okay, we're going to try to go through the proper chain of command. Okay, this happened at school. Okay, well, we're going to address it with the powers that be. This happened on the bus. Okay, we're going to address it with the powers that be. But,
baby,
if the powers that be don't handle that situation, we just going to go ahead and we're going to make sure it gets taken care of, and we're going to make sure it's taken care of effectively, so that you won't have that problem anymore. And if that means that I need to have some conversations with that mama, daddy, guardian, whomever it may be, then we're going to have those conversations.
And that's bad when both of us been in the house. We're like, excuse me. Yeah. I know the people at that girl's high school was so happy when she finally graduated.
You know what? Right.
I know they were so happy when Kay graduated. They were like, oh, Jesus, both of them gone good.
Right. It's like the actress says, Key, she's laughing. She's like, heading home. But that is hilarious, and I know it to be true.
Yes,
don't be sitting up there talking because she has observed it
firsthand,
right, on the phone and in person.
In person, she just sat there and looked at us like.
TJ says it's unfortunate that men don't have sisters with that mentality, but that's the thing. We need to make sure that because there's so many of us out there. Mm-hmm. But so many of us just don't speak up. Mm-hmm. So we've got to become more vocal in letting men know this is a safe space for you. Yeah. You may not be my blood brother. You may not be my cousin by blood. You may not be, a brother-in-law.
Baby, blood can make you family. Sure. Sure.
But it's like, you are a man that needs a safe place. And guess what? Mm-hmm. And we as women need to start letting more of them know mm-hmm. that they have that. Mm-hmm. Because, we got our group of guys that they know it don't matter what they tell us, it's not going another further. They know that. And we will sit up, have girl, that part. And we will have those conversations. We will laugh. We will talk junk. And then we will deal with those serious topics. And then after that, then we will laugh a little bit to get them back in that, in that headspace that they need to be in. It's like, I need what Key is drinking. LOL. Pastor needs some of that communion juice. You know what, Pastor? He's got the LOL.
Listen, it's been that kind of a day. I don't put all my stuff out there, but it's been that kind of a day.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I want to just, because we've got like a couple minutes left before 7:30 our time. But I want everybody to know, especially our men and our boys, it's okay to not be okay.
I really wish I could read my screen.
You want to read mine?
Mm-mm.
Skill Brown says, hello, strangers.
Who is you? Look, you see me, you know me. I'm like, I don't know you. Hello.
I'm trying to, and I'm looking.
I can't see it.
But it's like I was trying to see the actual profile.
Look, I can't see it. I'm blind.
And this whole
I'm blind. Look, I'm gonna lie. And then I got something in my eye, so.
Cause this is about.
Listen, if I could see out your glasses. You know what?
What?
Oh,
just a stranger stumbled on your show. Well, welcome. We appreciate you being here with us. We really do. And want to let you know, hey, guess what? We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And it's okay as a man to show emotion if nobody has ever told you that before.
Absolutely.
It's okay to not be okay. And if you need a safe place, we have a group that we created that has men and Black men, and they are professional men, and they are very, very supportive. A lot of them will have their own sidebar conversations because us two girls are in there as admins. But
we're the only two women.
Yeah, we're the only two girls up in there. So the fellas will sometimes have their sidebars, which is no problem because, honey, we have enough stuff going on with the women we deal with. But we appreciate you becoming a viewer, first-time viewer of this thing called Life with Candy. So thank you. Feel free to, be kind and rewind and share the show. We appreciate you. But for everyone else, thanks for being a part of our tribe of our This Thing family.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
appreciate all of you.
Absolutely.
And sis, I'm gonna let you actually take us out.
Ah.
But before we do, I need to acknowledge our sponsor. What was wrong with me today? I'm so hyped on this doggone topic
Yes.
until it's just like we have, and we want you to go support them. We have the Indiana People of Color Social Club.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna actually be featuring them. It'll probably be within the next, week, because we had that discussion and life happened, so we weren't able to do it when we initially talked about it, but that will be happening. That is a phenomenal organization. Look it up on Facebook, and trust me, it feeds the whole man and woman. From health to wealth. So
Absolutely.
check it out. We also have our sweets.
Fetishized Confections, baby.
And just the FYI disclaimer, if you go to the website, know that you're going to see some naughty treats. And there is no limit to what you may be exposed to on the site. And they do customize
the
orders.
Tastiest in Indiana.
Yes, and when I tell you good, that chocolate melts in your mouth. Trust me. Okay, let me stop. The tea cakes are good too. Yeah. But then we also have NotSoVanilla Weddings, which is a wonderful, 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 wonderful business. Because it promotes love.
Absolutely. At the baseline of anything else, it's about love, because there are calling ceremonies, there are commitment ceremonies,
marriage ceremony,
actual, legal
and binding, like through state, like licensed, ordained type, whatever the state requires. That is
legal and binding marriage ceremony, and just unions of all sorts. So that is a beautiful, 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 just ministry, because this is when we go back today, it's a beautiful ministry,
right?
So I very much encourage you all to check out our sponsors, and they're amazing people.
When I tell you that chocolate melts in your mouth, and don't turn around and let her mix a couple of and don't let her dip fruit.
Them strawberries, y'all don't even know. Dark chocolate dipped strawberries is my weakness, and this woman does them. Woo! But them cupcakes.
Okay, but see, she's not. Yeah.
She makes some amazing, even naughty. Cupcakes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said. So when they go to the website, do not be taken aback, because she will provide you with the standard vanilla. Like if you have a kid's party, the quality of the product is still the same. It just won't be shaped the same.
Or decorated the same.
That part. Yeah, that part right there. So for those of you who have joined us, hi, Shell. How are you? Thank you, Beatrice. What's a naughty cupcake? Just go to the website. You'll see it. Fetishizedconfections.com. Let me FET. Yeah. I can spell.
I had a couple glasses of wine. I could not.
FECT. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go to the website. Just it speaks for itself. That's all I can say.
Right.
But anyway, I'm gonna let sis take us on out now that we have definitely plugged our sponsors. but I'm gonna let you finish this out.
As someone who has hidden and doesn't embrace my own vulnerabilities openly, I should say openly. I know that it's almost hypocritical to say that we need our men to be able to embrace theirs, to be able to express theirs, and also to just know that, you know, part of the bonding with your partner, whatever configuration that may be, part of it is a shared vulnerability. And we have to get to a point in our relationships, whether they be eros, agape, professional,
Period. Just period.
We have to get to a point within our relationships where it is normal to express your feelings, your emotions, even the ones that are not necessarily positive, but to be able to express them.
And those are the ones that really affect our physical bodies the most.
Guilty as charged. So we have to get to a point where we normalize that. We normalize that for our boys, for our men. We normalize it across the board, but especially for our boys and our men, because so often, you know, they hold it all in. They keep it repressed until it just absolutely boils over, or they don't know that they can seek help without stigma,
or that their body finally just shuts down because
under the
they
burden
start
of mental
getting,
health.
yeah, or it manifests itself in other physical ways.
Yeah.
That, and they don't realize what's going on.
And you should be able to express yourself in ways other than anger.
Right. Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what's important.
Right.
So
this week on this thing called life, we're showing love to our men and our boys. And we are saying it's okay to be true to how you feel.
And it's okay to not always
Be okay. So next week we are going, next week we are going to go in a totally different direction. And we're actually going to talk with a beauty pageant candidate, contestant. I'm talking about candidate, like she's running for political office. And it's actually going to be a very, very interesting conversation because her platform is dealing with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a living, breathing example of what going beyond your fears can manifest in your life. She is a living, breathing example of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I'm not even gonna go into, because you know the first thing that popped into my head was that experience.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for you all to hear her story and allow her to encourage each of you to move beyond your fears. Move beyond your fears. So next week, we will see you at the same time, in the same place. Maybe. And we will definitely have the same energy. Love you all. We will talk with you all next week on this thing called life. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.